What's going on, everybody? Spencer Davidson here with Apex Realty and Davidson Capital. Today, I want to dive into, go back to when I was an agent a handful of years ago. Again, I'm still a licensed broker in the state of Iowa, but I want to go back to when I was an agent and just getting started and what I did to catapult my career. And I want to help you guys who are just beginning, or maybe you're at a standstill in your agency career and you're just trying to figure out how to generate more business, how to get more listings. Because everybody knows in this business, if you're a listing agent, you're going to last in this business, and how we can go out and get more business. Again, I have absolutely nothing to sell you. I'm not going to pitch you some coaching course. I'm not going to pitch you something to charge you any money for this. I am just genuinely wanting to give back to you. So let's dive right into it. All right. Basically, who I am. So again, pretty picture of me. I am currently a licensed real estate broker in the state of Iowa. Currently in the process of opening an independent firm. I've been licensed for the last 8-9 years. When I created this a couple years ago, 8 years now, closing in on a decade. I was the founder of Simply Better Realty, boutique real estate brokerage. We scaled that office within our first 18 months. I scaled it from my roommate's bedroom, where I was spending $500 a month in rent. And within 18 months, we scaled to 4 major cities, 30 agents. And the last year that I was a part of that company, we sold 162 homes roughly for roughly $60 million in volume. And, now I'm just trying to give back to as many people as I possibly can and help as many brokers and agents really get started and launch their career, or help relaunch their career, mainly just because I enjoy helping. That's really why I'm doing this. So I'm kind of sick and tired of seeing people that are trying to teach you and coach you and mentor you that have never done this before. It really is getting under my skin. So let's keep going. Just to ease your mind, again, I know a lot of people out there, a lot of fakes out there that don't really know what they're doing, or are coaches that have actually never sold a piece of real estate before. This was the last year I was active selling and listing property. I did close 57 properties, just under 17 million in total volume. And those are all the addresses, guys. It's public record. Okay. So if you ever have a coach, mentor, anything like that, that is claiming they have done something, especially in real estate, it's public record. Okay. So this was the last year I was active selling real estate in Iowa. Before I exited my company. And this year I will do right around 15 to 20 million in wholesale acquisition deals, commercial and residential. So I've slung quite a bit of property in my day, and really now I'm working on more of the commercial investment side. And those are bigger deals, much bigger fees, and that's kind of why I decided to go that route rather than sell traditional real estate. But again, I am here for you guys that are selling traditional real estate, residential real estate mainly. And let's keep going here. But I just wanted to show you guys that I've done this. It's public record. You can see it out there. Most coaches won't even show you their numbers. So, and again, I'm not a coach. I'm just here to help you. So let's dive into the myths here. There's really 3 myths, in my opinion, on what people think or people have been told when they're getting into this business, right? And the first myth is that you need money to succeed in this business, right? You might hear that sometimes. Oh, you need money. You need marketing money. You need to have a spouse that makes a lot of money so they can pay for your flyers and things like that, or pay for your marketing or your Zillow ads, or things like that. And that is simply not true. When I was first getting into this business, I had no money to my name. In fact, as I mentioned, I was living with my roommate who was charging me $500 a month for one of his bedrooms. And I used to have to pay that by donating plasma, because I didn't have enough money to even pay his rent. So I would donate plasma for paying rent. I would donate plasma for my first lock boxes and yard signs. Like, I had to do a lot of things first starting off just to even get my business off the ground. So if you think you need money to be in this business, or if you're sitting there and you don't have any money and you're getting started in this business, that's just not true. Okay, the second myth is you need to be a celebrity, right? That's kind of a huge topic right now, is everybody thinks you need to be a TikTok celebrity, social media. Now, it is important to post on social media. I absolutely agree with that. But that's not what we're going to be talking about today. I never got any business from social media. I've never gotten business from social media. Every sort of business, every type of business that I've gotten is going to be from these strategies that I'm telling you today. And that's actually the same strategies that I use to do my commercial wholesaling, my acquisitions, my big properties that I'm closing and working on. Now, the deals that I do now, the same strategy applies that I'm going to teach you today. So I just wanted to point that out as well. But you do not need to be a celebrity. I have less than 1,000 followers, guys. And I had less than 500 followers on Instagram, and TikTok wasn't even a thing, Facebook. I had no social media presence at all, and I still was able to sell roughly $17 million of real estate my last year of actively selling. And myth number 3, This one is mind blowing to me. A lot of real estate brokers will tell you this. A lot of training session, a lot of training, real estate training will tell you this when you're first getting into the industry. But you need to work with so many buyers before you can become a listing agent. For some reason, they think that you have to have buyer experience to represent sellers, which just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It never did. And the other myth is that, oh, getting listings and sellers are much harder to work with than buyers. It's just not true. It's just not true. They're different, but it's just not true. So what we're going to be talking about today in this video is really just these different key topics and how to work with more sellers, how to get more listings, right? This is all about getting listings, because what I realized early on in my career is that I can handle a lot more listings than I can buyers at a time. If I have 3 buyers that are texting me at the same time telling me, let's go show these different properties, I don't have that availability. I can only be in one place at once. But I can handle 3, 5, 7, 10 listings at a time because I can do it all from my computer and all from my phone, right? And when I have 10 properties spread out, listed, advertised on the market, now all I do is just negotiate, update sellers. I can do that from the comfort of my home. I don't need to be driving around a bunch and showing properties and having to be in multiple places at once and pawning off, hey, can you show this property for me? I'll give you $100 to this new agent, things like that. It's no longer you need to do that. And that's why I love listings so much, is because I can handle so much more business from the comfort of my home. And so today what we're going to be talking about is why for sale by owners are the absolute best lead out there, how to find those for sale by owners, where to put your for sale by owner in your database, right? How do we create a database, and what to say to those for sale by owners. How do we prospect those? How do we get them interested in doing business with us and listing their home with us, trusting their biggest asset with us? How do you set the follow-up? How do you do follow-up, right? Sales is all follow-up, and we'll dive into that. How to set those listing appointments, how to win the appointment, and how to repeat that over and over and over so you succeed and you keep crushing it. Okay, so let's dive into this right away. Why are for sale by owners the best lead in real estate? Look, they're already advertising that they have a home to sell, right? They're raising their hand and putting it on Zillow, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, saying, hey guys, I want to sell my property. So if you were to tell me, if I had 100 people that wanted to buy a product and they were all sitting there and one person stepped forward and raised their hand and said, yes, I want to buy your product. I want to buy this product. Maybe not your product, but I want to buy the product that's out there. You'd say the first person you talk to is probably that person, right? And so why wouldn't we do this as agents? Why would we not be the first person, the warmest lead, the most qualified lead, right? They're already saying, hey, I already have a home, right? It's not like a buyer where they have to get pre-approved or pre-approved and then pre-qualified. Who knows, maybe their credit's going to shoot down, or because they bought a truck or some appliances or whatever. Like, these people already have a home. They already have done this once, right? They already have a product. They already have a property. So this is obviously the most qualified lead. And now they're saying, hey, I want to sell this, right? So this is the best way to generate business quickly, is because they already have a product. They already have a property, they're already qualified, and they're a warm lead by saying, hey, I want to sell my property. They already made the decision to sell it, right? But now, the next thing why I like them is they have no idea what they're doing most of the time, right? They either had a bad experience, they don't trust it, they want to save maybe a little bit of money, and they think they're saving money, but they don't know the process that well. They might remember it from 10 years ago when they bought their property. Maybe there's an inspection, but they don't know how to price their property. They have full-time jobs. Most of the time, they are busy. They are occupied. They just think they got to put a sign in the yard and it'll sell. They don't understand really the key pieces and what it takes to sell. And you're the expert. This is what you do every single day of your life. This is what you do every day. So this is a great opportunity for you to help these people, because you are the professional. This is what you do every day, right? And so, and the next thing is they're ready to sell now. They've clearly said they want to sell their property today. They have a yard sign. They post it online. They have open houses they're posting. They're showing photos of their house and of where their kids sleep and all that. That means they want to sell today. So what that means for you is, if you have no business today and you get a listing tomorrow, you could have a closing the next month, right? And so unlike buyers, where you might have to nurture for a couple of years or 6 months to a year to then get them pre-approved because you have to wait till their apartment lease is up, you can service for sale by owners today and get paid next month. And that is what is super exciting. And the cost to acquire is even better. It's $0. It does not cost you a dime to reach out to these people. Not a dime. You don't have to spend $1,000, $2,000 on Zillow leads. that might not convert for a year. You don't have to spend money on PPC campaigns or Google campaigns for buyers. You're not spending thousands of dollars on marketing flyers or anything like that to get their attention. The cost to acquire these are zero. So if you were to tell me without any without any hesitation, if you were to say, hey, without any knowing of the business, you said, and I went up to you and I said, hey, there's a business model in your business where you spend no money on marketing and they're already a warm lead and they want to move forward, you just have to now convince them to move forward with you. You would probably say, give me that all day long. I'm assuming, right? Unless you're crazy. And if you're crazy, then you might as well log off now. Okay, so let's dive into the nitty gritty here. Let's go into how can we locate and find these for sale by owners. And this is the exact strategies that I use to find these and what I did to build and sell all those properties that I showed you earlier, right? To build my pipeline out and to sell my properties. And so we're gonna break it down here. I got some screenshots here of exactly what I did, and I'm gonna try and get out of the way here. But the first thing we do is pretty simple. So you're gonna go to Google, and you're literally gonna go in the county that you serve, right? So in Des Moines, Polk County, Dallas County. I'm here in Florida now, so Bay County, right? So literally what I'm gonna do in Google is type in homes for sale by owner, Bay County, Florida. Right? And boom, it pops up right there and it shows that there's 72 opportunities for me. Okay? I'm going to click on that. It's going to pull up the map. It's going to show you everything, all the properties that are in the area. And it's going to show you the list, right? And on Zillow, they've changed it. There's agent listings and there's other listings. You click on the other listings and it's going to give you an assortment of deals. And so every day I would take this and I would Google this every day and I would put it in my CRM, and we'll get to that in a minute. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to pull up the map. We're going to pull up Zillow. And then what you do is when you click on the property, you're going to have the property that pulls up. And I would always have two monitors. I would have one monitor with the property, and the other monitor, I would pull up the county assessor's records. Because again, in my previous prospecting videos, it's important to know these people's names. And where do you find the owner information and their names? You find it on the property record county assessor, right? Now, sometimes it's an LLC. That's super rare in single family. Not super rare unless they're an investor. But most of the time you can find their name and whatnot. And so that's the name you're going to put into your CRM or your database. And then you can find their number at the bottom. And I'm not going to show you this number here because it's private and blah, 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 whatever. I mean, I don't want you calling this listing, right? That's kind of maybe a little inappropriate from this video. But the number's at the bottom of there. You just scroll down to the bottom. It says listed by, and it shows property owner. And it shows their phone number. So they're not only giving you their phone number, you can get their name easily off the property assessor, and they're already telling you, yes, I want to sell. I just might not trust an agent. So that's exactly how you're going to go about locating and finding them. So now we need to add them to a database, right? A CRM, client relationship manager, right? We all have heard this term. But you might be thinking, Spencer, I've got Google Sheets. I've got, a Google Sheet. I have an Excel spreadsheet. I've got a notebook that I keep all my names and database in. I have a Rolodex, right? Wrong. Do not do that. That is the biggest mistake. One of the biggest mistakes that I see agents use. They don't actually have a proper software to use to keep track of these leads, follow-ups, and so on and so forth. And we'll go into that here in a minute. Now, when you're adding them to a database, again, using a notepad, Google Docs, Excel, isn't the right way to go about this. And I'll go into that in a minute, right? You need a CRM that you can keep track of seller information, notes. You need a URL link to the listing so you can get updates if they do price reductions and things like that when you're prospecting them. And you need a place to have follow-ups, guys, okay? Because as you saw, there's 72 properties that I can call and prospect on that list. I'm going to upload all 72 in there. Do you think it's only going to take one conversation to close that listing? No, it's going to take maybe 10 conversations, 10 phone calls, 12 phone calls. And how are you going to keep track of when to follow up? How are you going to keep track of what you just talked about, right? That's so important to use moving on into the conversation and move the conversation forward. I want to know that Susie said, call me back in 30 days. I need to know that so I can set a follow-up in 2 weeks to call her back, right? But if you just use a Google Sheet, that's not going to tell you to do that. And so if you're worried about cost, my favorite free CRM is ZohoCRM.com. I am not affiliated. It's ZohoCRM.com. It's completely free. I have nothing to sell you on this. It's free, and I've used it. You can use their trial. It's absolutely free, and they don't even ask you to upgrade. You can just use their platform for free, as they hope down the road maybe you'll upgrade to their other system or whatever. But it's no money. Literally cost me no money to use this CRM. And here's kind of a breakdown of the Zoho CRM and why I like it so much. Again, when I log into my CRM every day, this is kind of a screenshot overview. Look, it shows my tasks, right? My open tasks. Okay, I need to follow up with this property. Waiting on someone else. Okay, I need to follow up with this property today. I need to follow up on that property today because, and it's a high priority. Like I can make priority. Okay, this is a high priority because they maybe said they want to sit down and meet with me, but they weren't quite ready. So I can mark priority, right? It has the address name. It has the owner name, right? And then you can pop into the today's leads and what's closing this month. You can show all of your business inside the CRM, and it's completely free. And so again, I highly recommend that when you pull these leads, you put them into a CRM. Now, some of you might have Follow Up Boss or Boomtown. You can use all those CRMs as well. It's the same thing, or Sync. Maybe your brokerage has a CRM. But again, if you don't have that and you want your own database, Zoho CRM, it's completely free. I'd highly recommend it. It's not super fancy. It doesn't have all the drip campaigns or anything, but it just has, you just log in and it shows you exactly what you need to do for that day and how you, what tasks you need to do, what calls you need to make, and how you can progress those calls moving forward, so on and so forth. All right, and then here's kind of like the overview again of Zoho. It shows you your home page, your leads, your contacts, your accounts, your deals, your calls, your meetings, activities, so on and so forth. So I used to just have these tasks, and every day I'd log in, I'd say, okay, what are my tasks for the day, right? And it would have all my tasks, and I would just go down one by one, every property. Okay, hey, I need to follow up here. I need to do this. And when you click on the profile, it shows you the notes. Hey, yeah, you're having 20, 30 conversations a day with these people. You need to remember what you talked about. You're not going to remember it, so you want to write it down. And that's where you can have all of those notes that you had and written down inside Zoho CRM. So again, highly recommend this CRM. I'm not affiliated. It's completely free. And I think this is a great tool that you can use. All right. So this is kind of again, I'm going to continue into Zoho here. I just want to show you exactly what it looks like from a lead perspective, right? Okay. So I clicked on a profile, address, it gives me the name. It's got the phone number there. It's got the link. And look, I got a red bar here. It means I'm behind on my task. I didn't hit my task for the day, so it turned red. So it alerts me, hey, you need to follow up with these people because you were supposed to yesterday and you didn't because life happens. Or a lender invited you to lunch and you went, which you shouldn't. And you skipped the call and you forgot to make the call. So it'll notify you when you're behind on tasks. And it's just a way for you to have all the profiles set up. And again, I just highly recommend it. If you're going to do this at all, you got to do it right. And this is a complete free way to do it. So there's no reason or excuse not to do it that way. All right. Now, the next thing, the big thing, what to say, right? What are we going to talk about? All right. There's 4 key talking points when you're making a cold call to a for sale by owner. We're going to get to the nitty gritty. All right. There's your introduction, the most important thing, right? How you come off. And we'll have scripts and things like that you can download probably. Or if you have questions on scripts, just call me, text me, email me, and I'll have all that information below. Hit me up on social media, and we can go like in the deep dive of this. It's kind of just an overview, right? But who are you and why are you calling? That is the most important thing you want to get across. You want to come across with some conviction. You don't want to ask question. Hey John, no, hey John, right? This is Spencer with 123 Main Street Realty. Are you still working on selling that home at 123 blah blah blah, right? You want to introduce yourself with conviction and be there to help, right? The next thing is their motivation and why, right? Because you want to figure out why they're even selling their property anyways. And this is where it gives you an opportunity to problem solve. As soon as you start solving their problems for them or help addressing some of the concerns or problems that they have, they're going to come on. That's going to lower their guard tremendously. And that's going to show you that you're a true professional. No matter what whether you get paid or not, if you truly genuinely have their best interest in mind, and you truly are just solving their problems anyways, they are going to lower their guard. And when they are ready to sell, they're going to call you if it's not working out as an agent, right? So problem solution. Some of the problem solutions that we might have is, what is their motivation, right? If you get this home sold, what are your plans next? Are you relocating? Or are you just wanting something different in the area? Oh, well, we're relocating out of state. We've already bought another property there. We have to move in 60 days. And we don't want to rent this out. We need to get this sold. Okay, well, that's a problem because I know that, it's a problem because let's say right now the market's going to take every bit of 60 days to sell the property. You know that If they don't get listed with you today, the time's ticking, right? And those are things that you can bring up and address on that phone call, right? Time frame, that's the other important thing. Okay, so when are you looking to get this home sold by? Well, we got a new build that's closing in 90 days and we have a bridge. We really don't want to get a bridge loan, so we really need to get this sold within 90 days, right? Important thing to know. You want to know their time frame. When are they needing to have it sold by? Not when are they hoping to have it sold by, or what, I want to sell it tomorrow. No. What is their time frame, so in the back of your mind? Remember, we're stacking all of this up to use as ammunition to book that appointment later on, right? So time frame, when you need to get this sold, we need to sell this in 90 days. We got a new build. Okay, great. Well, it's going to take 45 days to sell. So you could go for the appointment now, which I always recommend going for the appointment at the end of the call, but you have a little bit of time as well. Like, let's say they have 2-3 weeks down the road and they don't sell it, then you really need to get ramped up. And you say, hey, remember that new build you're closing on in 90 days? Well, now you only have 60. We really need to get this property listed and sold if we want to hit that timeline, right? And again, problem solution, ask questions, answer their questions that they have, right? If they say, hey, what do you think of, me doing an open house this weekend? Well, open houses really don't create that much traffic with qualified buyers. It's an effective strategy in the first maybe 48 to 72 hours of it being listed, but overall it doesn't really work, right? Be a professional. Be somebody that they can ask questions and answer their questions, right? And then always ask for the appointment, okay? A lot of times the problem that we have, and this is a thing that I see a lot of agents do, is, they'll spend 20 minutes before the call prepping for the phone call. And sorry if you hear that lawnmower right now, it's my neighbor. But if a lot of the problems that I see is agents will prepare a call. So they'll spend 20 minutes running comps, running a CMA, and then they call and they don't answer, right? That's not the time. That's not the time to be doing these things, right? So if they ask questions like, what do you think of my price? You know what, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I can't give you an honest price without looking at your property. And I'm more than happy to tell you about price and the things that we can do for you. Would you have 15 minutes Tuesday at 3 o'clock for me to swing by the property? I'll go through the property. I'll show you exactly what's going on in the neighborhood. I'll show you how long it's going to take you to sell that property. And then, we'll go over what we can do for you. See if the glove fits. If not, no big deal. At least you have that information to move forward in the best of your ability, right? And that's how I ask for the appointment, right? If the glove fits, great. If not, it's not a big deal. I'm here to help you any way I can. And I'm going to give you this playbook to move forward with me or without me. It's totally fine. But I can't give you any of that information over the phone because I haven't been inside your property. And I'd love to have this conversation with you in person for a quick 15 minutes. Super casual. Just do a quick walkthrough and sit down and go over what we can do to help you, right? That's how I go about that appointment. And if they say no to the appointment twice, then I always say, hey, you know what? Is it okay? I ask permission. Is it okay for me to check back with you? Yeah, call me back in 30 days. No problem. I'll be more than happy to give you a ring back maybe in the next 30 days or so. And what I always do is I cut that time in half, right? So if they tell me 30 days, then I cut back that to 15. But again, this is kind of the framework. It's not the sentence by sentence, paragraph by paragraph script, but this is kind of the overview. And when you become really skilled at prospecting, that's all you really need. Introduction, who are you, why are you calling? And then motivation and why, to find problems that you can solve for them, right? Why are you moving? Where are you, if you get this home sold, are you relocating or wanting something different? What's their time frame? When you need to have this home sold by, or ideally, when would you like to have this home sold by? And again, using all of this as ammunition to go in for the appointment, right? And that's the whole idea for this, right? And then if they don't go for the appointment, always ask permission to follow up. Okay, so following up, right? So notes and follow-up, all of that information that we're using when we're calling these people and we're prospecting these people is ammunition, right? Now, maybe it sounds like a bad word to use, but really you're trying to get the listing, right? You're trying to help them. You're trying to solve their problems, right? And so we're problem solvers, and the more notes you take about the phone call, the better. And that's why it's super important to have your CRM up and you're typing notes. Or maybe you have a notebook that you write down and like what I do is I still have a notebook that I write a lot of information down and then I'll type it in later after the call because I don't want to hear the noise of a keyboard when I don't want to sound like I'm in a call center. So I'll write it down and then I'll transfer my notes onto my laptop or my CRM later. But it's so important, the more notes you take, the better, because you want to know, hey, Susie and Jim, they're downsizing because their daughter just went to college and they're super emotional about that. Right? So the next time you can call, you can say, hey, how is Sarah doing at Iowa State? Is she doing great? Does she love it? How excited is she for it, right? You can have those commonality, and you can pick up the conversation from where you left off, and they're going to say, wow, this person was really listening to me. I really appreciate that, right? And again, oh, timeline. Hey, remember, Jim, you told me you needed to move here in 60 days. We've got about 45 days left. That's still the same plan, right? Yeah, we need to sell like soon. Okay, great. Well, why don't we go ahead and set up a time I can swing by and see how we can help, right? Because prospecting is all about the follow-up and filling up your pipeline, okay? And so one of the things that a lot of people have the misconception of is, okay, if I call this person, I'm going to book an appointment right there. Okay, one and done calls are great, but usually if they book an appointment with you, the very first phone call, one, they're probably not serious, and two, they're probably not going to end up listing with you because they're just saying whatever, or they might not even show up. And I book every appointment at their house, and I've been at home sometimes where the lights are off, it's dark outside, and I'm like, where are you at? And they're like, oh, I'm not even here, right? Go home. And so one and done calls are great, but most of the time it's not going to happen. And it's really crazy because 95% of the time, one and done calls aren't going to happen. So making sure you take proper notes and setting future follow-ups is crucial. I've never set a follow-up past 3 weeks. So even if they say I'm a year out, I still call them back in a couple of weeks just to see how they're doing, see if anything's changed. And I usually set, a week to 2 week follow-up. So if they say 30 days, I'm calling them back next week because I want to make sure that I'm top of mind and I'm the person that they're going to go to. And again, using those notes that we logged to revisit those conversations is crucial, super important. And remember, I think there's a stat out there that like 92 to 94% of salespeople in general never make the second call. So if you're that agent, because remember, you're not the only one doing this. There's going to be thousands of agents calling these people, 100 agents, 20 agents calling these people. But you can really separate yourself by having your systems and processes in place, such as a CRM, to call them back, because most agents don't. And most agents will never call them back. And so if you're the one calling them back, you're going to be the one that they're going to do business with. And again, setting the appointment. Ask for the appointment. Always ask for the appointment. And you may ask more than once during a call. This happens all the time. These phone calls could be anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour long, right? I might say, hey, I went through my talking points. I understand the problem, and I think I can solve that problem. So, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, would you have 15 minutes Tuesday or Thursday for me to swing by the property and kind of go over what we can do to help you and go over some of the numbers and see exactly, if we can maybe even have you walk away with more money than you currently expect, right? But again, would you be able to have open to having me swing by for 15 to 20 minutes this week to take a look at the house, review some of the market information as well, some of our services? If the glove fits, great. If not, at least you have some information to use moving forward with the sale of your home. And you never book an appointment over 72 hours, right? And I love this line here, and I came up with this line: if the glove fits, great. If not, no big deal. I want them to know that no matter what happens, whether you list with me or not, I'm going to take care of you the best of my ability, and it's no hard feelings, right? It's a casual 15-minute appointment. I'm going to swing by the property. I want to check it out, and I really want to show you what we have to offer and show you what the market. Be of service. Be a professional, right? And the goal is to go on 2 or 3 of these a day, right? So if you go on 2 or 3 of these a day, you might only get one, but that's okay, and you're still helping these other people. And I can't tell you the number of times that I would leave an appointment, not get the listing, and then a couple months later, they'd call me back because they really genuinely used my advice and it helped them, but they really need me to push it across the finish line. And so just being of service, not saying, hey, you need to sign this document with me right now before I can even come to the house, or, this or that, or come to the office. We need to talk about this and it needs to be serious. No, I'm here to help you. And if I can help you, great, that's great. And so that's really one of the best lines that I've used to close deals. If the glove fits, great. If not, it's not a big deal at all. I just genuinely want to help you and go over some of this information, right? Now, sometimes you'll get the question, well, hey, why do you need to come over? Well, in order for me to give you a proper price on your home and what we think the value is, I just need to take a quick tour of the home, I want to review current market data with you. I want to show you the days in market. I want to show you your neighbors' homes that sold that might have the granite and you don't have the granite, or you have the granite, they don't have the granite. Like, I want to show you all those things and quickly review what we have to offer with our program to answer any questions or concerns. And it also helps put a face, to the name of who you're talking to, right? You want to know who you've been talking to this entire time. And that's why we like to come by the home rather than you come into the office. Okay? Now, moving on, and I know we're moving quickly, so if you need to go back and take notes, things like that, totally fine. I highly recommend that. And again, reach out to me if you do have any further questions, but we're going to move on to our next segment here of how to win the appointment, right? So if we go back real quick, so far we've learned, okay, why for sale by owners are the best lead. We've learned how to find for sale by owners, right, in the data and using the county assessor records to get their data, their name, and the Zillow for their phone number and to see the house that's listed, right? We showed you where to put that data in the Zoho CRM or a free CRM or any CRM, right? Not a Google Sheets, not a notepad, but an actual CRM, because you want their data, you want the URL link to Zillow in there, you want their phone number, any other information you have, and it's a place to take notes. And then again, that's where you log in every day. That's what you work out of to make calls. And then we went over the script briefly, right? The talking points, the introduction, the motivation, the why, the problem solution, the time frame, and then the asking for the appointment. And then, we talked about, now we're going to talk about how to book the appointment. We talked about how to book the appointment, and now we're going to talk about how do you win the appointment, right? So how do you win that listing appointment when you're sitting down across their living room, you're sitting with them, and you're in their living room, and you already know that there's been 5 agents in there. Number one is you over-prepare, right? You make sure to bring the information that benefits the seller. Benefits the seller. Again, we're helping the seller, generally helping them, right? So we want comps, right? We don't want just a general CMA, right? I know how the MLS works. You can just type in generalities, you print it off, and you go. No, you want to study these things. You want to take 30 minutes. I always used to take 30 minutes to an hour prepping for each appointment, because I want to make sure my comps are as accurate as possible, almost like an appraiser would pull all the nearest data. I want to know the days on market at like the back of my hand. I want to know that, hey, in Ankeny right now for a 2-bed or for a 4-bed, 3-bath, 2-story house on the south west side of Ankeny, you're going to need to be, it's going to be $163 a square foot. It's going to take 37 days in the market. Like, I want to know that without having to look at the paper, because when I'm pitching, they're going to be looking at the paper. I'm not, right? And so I really want to make sure that I understand the market so well and their neighborhood so well to build trust and show that I'm reputable and show that I know what I'm doing, right? You bring the necessary information on your company as the last questions, right? How many homes have you sold? How many agents do you work with? How many buyers you currently work with? Maybe you have a buyer for me, right? What are the marketing and advertising strategies you do? And this is really important as well, right? If you're a brand new agent, you don't have any listings, maybe you even haven't even sold a home yet. This is when you look at who the top person in your office is. Maybe you invite them with. Nope. Hold on. Maybe you would. Sorry, phone's dying. Maybe you invite them with you on this appointment and co-list it, right? Use their reputation, or you ask them in advance. Hey, can I use your reputation here? I know you have a listing across the street. We're the same company. It's going to show that I can win this listing. And 10 out of 10 times they're going to say yes, absolutely, anything, to help the company. And so you really want to go in there and show why your company is reputable, why they can trust you as a company, what your brand is as a company, what you stand for as a company, and then, all the other data about your company. Hey, we have, 30 agents across 4 major cities. We're selling anywhere from, 5 to 8 homes a month or 10 homes a month right now. We're top 10 in the market. I actually sold that home, that home, that home, and that home, right? And that's going to be, and that forms commonality, that builds trust. Those are things that they want. They want to know that they're handing over their biggest asset to somebody that is reputable and that they can trust. And so this is what that does. All right. Listing programs, right? When you're going into the program, when you're showing them, right, hey, this is what we have to offer. What services do you offer? How much is it? I always offered 3 options, right? This is something that a lot of agents don't do. They say, okay, well, it's 6%, but for you, I could probably do 5.25, blah, blah, blah. Right? No, I'm showing 3 different offers, ABC, right? 1, 2, 3. And offer 1 might have 3 things. Offer 2 might have 5 things. And offer 3 might have 7 things, right? And for an example of that, it could be offer 1. Hey, I'm going to put it on the MLS. We're going to get some photos, but I can't do any open houses, right? It's for 4.5%. I can't do open houses. Okay, so for 5.5%, I can do this, and I'm going to do open houses, and I'm going to run Google ads, right? Okay, for 6.5% or 6% or whatever these numbers are in your market, okay, hey, I'm going to do professional photos. I'm going to list it on the MLS. I'm going to have open houses. I'm going to stage the property, and I'm going to do a deep clean of your property, and I'm going to have a lawn service come by to make sure your property is maintained, as well as snow removal if you're in a snowy market, to make sure that people have, can get in safely and there's no ice or anything like that, right? I would offer those 3 packages. Why? Because when you have 3 offers, they're going to pick one, right? If you don't have any offers and you say, maybe 4.5, they're going to say, well, that agent over there offered me 4. So, I'm going to go with them because, we're just talking numbers. We're not talking about what you're going to do for me, right? And that's super important, is to label out, write up your offers. And if you have questions on what kind of offers you can have or what entails in that offer, reach out to me again, and I'm more than happy to show you kind of what a framework would look like. And then the last thing, make them feel special. Take your time, make it professional. Don't be showing up rushed and out of order, not dressed up. Like, I would never wear a black tee to a listing appointment. I'm going to wear a nice collared shirt. I'm going to act professional, especially if you're younger, you're new. It's better to overdress than underdress. Be clean shaven, be a professional. Just be professional, okay? Clean your car before. Make sure it looks good when you're pulling up, because you're entering these people's homes. They want to feel safe. They want to feel like you're dealing with a professional, and they're inviting you in their home. So just be respectful and professional. All right, so we went through a lot of information over the last 35 minutes or so, and I know it's a lot, so you're probably going to have to go back and watch this again. I hope you took a lot of notes. But the last thing I kind of want to wrap up on, or the things that I do want to touch on, and my challenge to you, okay? Again, I have nothing to sell you. I'm not here selling you a coaching program. I'm not asking you to give me thousands of dollars to coach you or mentor you or any of that. I'm giving this information away for free because I genuinely just want to help you. And I just want to help you build your business here. And so my challenge to you, if you're an agent, you're just getting started, maybe you're a seasoned agent, maybe you're a broker with 30 agents, introduce this to them, right? And my challenge to you is follow this strategy for the next 30 days. My goal is that you end up listing at least 1 home, if not 2 or 3 homes. And so that's all I'm asking you to do. Put this plan into action, okay? It's a challenge that I have. I think you can do this. Every agent that I ever trained coming into my firm, that's what we did, and this is what they did, and they ended up hitting these results. If they didn't list 1, they maybe listed 2 or 3 and build up their pipeline, and they had a full pipeline, and it helps you start making money right away. So again, this is my challenge to you. Just follow this for 30 days straight. You should be making anywhere from 40 to 50 calls a day. You should be connecting with anywhere from 15 to 20 sellers a day, and you should probably book at least 1 appointment a day. And you're not going to convert every appointment, at least right away. But I guarantee if you do that strategy, you'll get at least 1 listing, if not 2 or 3. And it's really going to help your business. So that's my challenge to you. And if you don't believe it, I'm going to show you my 30-day results. When I first opened my brokerage, this is exactly what it looked like, right? Okay, so I have a week by week. First week I made 206 calls. I connected with 90 people. I booked 10 listing appointments. Only 6 of them I actually met with. I had 3 listing agreements out, and within the first week I listed a first property. The second week I had 333 calls. I connected with 142 people. I booked 6 appointments, so my appointments actually went down, but my met to booked ratio was higher, and I had 3 more properties listed. And so my totals, or that was 2 weeks rather. So my totals for the month of August, when I first opened my brokerage, 539 calls, 232 connects. I booked 16 listing appointments in 30 days. I had 10 that I met with, and I listed 7 properties. Okay, I had 7 listings within 30 days following this strategy. Now, again, I was kind of a seasoned cold caller at that point. I don't expect you to have those same numbers, but I just wanted to show you what my 30-day results were. And 120 days later, so 4 months later, this is what my pipeline looked like. So I sold 12 properties. I closed in 4 months. I closed, not listed, closed, sold, closed, went through the whole process. 12 properties for $3 million, just over $3 million in volume. Average price point was $262. And so in listed volume right there, it shows you 2.1 million, something like that. I don't know. 3.1 million is what I did. So, average 2.5. So I made $70,000 in, 4 months. And that was from starting from scratch. By the end of the year, that's what I did. So we made like 75 or 80,000. Yeah, I think it was like 80 or $90,000 in 4 months of closed business. That's not my pendings. That's not my listed. That's my closed business. So in 4 months, this could completely change your life. You could make six figures depending on your market in 4 months. This works, guys. This really does, and that's why I'm super passionate about it. And it doesn't cost you a dime to do. So again, my offer to you, or my challenge to you, is going to be, give this a shot for 30 days. Give it a shot for 30 days. And if you have questions about scripts, I'm here to help you. I'm not charging you anything. And the reason I'm not charging you anything is because I'm so sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of these coaches out here that have never sold a property in their life, have the audacity to charge you $1,000 a month for a coaching program or $500 a month for a coaching program when they have never done this themselves. Okay. I don't need to make money from coaching. Okay. I have clearly made my own money running a real business and and having real skills out there. So I don't need to charge you anything. Okay. I am now a full-time acquisition specialist and I wholesale real estate. I do acquisitions. I do big commercial properties. I will make nearly $1 million this year, $750,000 if I can push it. A couple of more deals follow. $1 million gross this year in fees, in payments. And so I don't need to do this. I don't need to charge you. I don't need to do anything like that. I just want to build a relationship with you because I have a lot of great things coming down the pipeline, and I want to help as many agents as I possibly can. I want to help as many wholesalers as I possibly can. And my goal is to partner with you, work with you, help you, and mentor you without ever needing to charge you anything. I just want to work with you, right? I generally want to help you because nobody else in this space is doing this for free and putting the time in for free because they can't, because they don't have a real business, right? I do. I don't need your money. And so I really genuinely want to help you, and I'm always available if you want to message me or call me, text me, however we want to do that. Email me. It might take some time to get back to you, but I will get back to you and I will help you. Again, I appreciate every single one of you. I know I went fast. I know it's a longer video, but I really hope this helps you crush it in the next 30 days and crush the end of the year. And I look forward to building a relationship with you and continuing and helping you grow your real estate business.